Mike, turn your games down.
Popular mini episode of Games My Mom Found. I am Mike Albertin, and who's throwing their friends in a cannon with me tonight?
We've got Vincent Goodwin from the Some of My Friends Read Comics podcast.
You also have Kyle, also known as Chibi UFO, and I love Dragon Quest slimes. They're probably my favorite video game design next to the cute little UFOs from Earthbound.
And where can people find you at, Kyle? What?
Oh, well, you can find me in a few different spots on the internet. You can find me on Instagram as at Chibi UFO, CHIBI-UFO. I post just random pictures of stuff I'm doing in my life, just random things, a book I'm reading, a video game I'm playing, just that type of stuff, just random stuff and stuff I do in my life, all sorts of fun things. Yeah, you can also find me on Blue Sky at chibufo.bsky.social. And you can also, I don't really post on there as much anymore, to be honest, but I'll still occasionally post a thing, but you can also find me on Twitter at UFO_Canada. And you can also find me on my podcast, which is the Unidentified Flying Obsession Podcast. We actually, at the time of this recording, I don't want to date anything, we actually have just... Okay, in that case, we have actually just finished recording and uploaded a brand new episode. A good friend of mine, Brandon, and recount our memories, and just, we pretty much gush like total nerds over the Ganbare Goemon / Mystical Ninja series from the game developer Konami. We just gush about it like total nerds, and we really just sing our hearts out about how much we love it.
I'm really holding out hope that they're going to come out with an anniversary collection like they did for Castlevania and Contra. I don't expect it, but I'm like, there's a little part that'd be like, maybe.
Yeah, if they could, oh my god, I would buy it in a heartbeat. And I'm still planning to buy that Goodfeel, that new Goemon Light game on the Switch by Goodfeel, which is Goodfeel is basically a bunch of ex-Goemon developers, including Atsunobu Ebisu, who's directed a ton of Goemon games. I'm going to get that game. I am going to, but yeah, if they could do some type of Goemon collection, oh my god, I would buy that in an instant.
It'd be nice. And Vince, this was your idea. What are we talking about?
We're talking about playing the hero of Slimania. We're talking about Dragon Quest Heroes Rocket Slime, also known as Slime Mori Mori 2, released for the Nintendo DS at some point. I didn't actually look up the year. To honor the passing of Akira Toriyama.
2006 in North America.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, Akira Toriyama passed. Very obviously, hugely influential in the anime space, in the manga space, with Dragon Ball Z and also Dr. Slump. But also, obviously, did a lot of stuff with video games, including Blue Dragon, Chrono Trigger, and Dragon Quest. And Mike, I think this is your first Dragon Quest episode ever.
This is. Yeah.
Why have you been running this show, Mike? I'm kind of surprised.
Because they're 100 hours long.
Okay.
I mean, that's
I love Dragon
part
Quest
of it. I haven't, to be frank, to why it has happened. I didn't do as many RPGs in the beginning because, I worked with different, at one time I had co-hosts that were with me every episode. To ask them to do that was not possible. And then the show became a point where it's just me as the main person with a rotating cast, and then many more things became possible. So
I totally get that.
But yeah, that's where that comes from. So yeah, this is our first Dragon Quest game, and not in a million years would I have thought to play Dragon Quest Heroes Rocket Slime, developed by Tosei, published by Square Enix. Absolutely no interest in this game. I knew it existed because I worked at a Target. I saw it for DS, and I'm like, oh, that's nice. Didn't give a shit.
Yeah, I've been trained not to really put much stock in spin-offs of games. Just in general, you're like, okay, well, there's something. But Dragon Quest's actually track record for spin-offs has actually been pretty good, all things considered. They had one of the first Mystery Dungeon games. They also had Builders, which is a Minecraft-like that I really, really enjoy, Builders 1 and 2. And then Dragon Quest Heroes, not to be confused with this, which is a Dynasty Warriors game. And I really like that one, too. It's probably my favorite Dynasty Warriors style game.
Those Builders games really blew me away, too. I thought Minecraft was this is neat, I guess. And then, played those, I'm like, is this just Minecraft with Dragon Quest crap? But then I thought, oh, holy shit, these are actually great. Oh my god, I love these. Whoa.
Yeah, they're so good. And the Dragon Quest series, just in general, is for your listeners, is a very long-running Japanese RPG series. Probably one of the forerunners of it from Enix, now Square Enix. 1, 2, 3, and 4 came out in North America for the original NES. 5 and 6 did not come to America. 7 came out in Japan, came out for the PS1, 8 for the PS2. But it's it's been kind of mildly popular in the US, but not really. And then hugely popular in Japan to the point where there's they don't release games during the work week because everybody doesn't go to work in Japan.
Yes.
They said they passed the law anecdotally, but that never actually happened. That's a legend.
Yeah, that was just kind of a myth for that long period. And also, Dragon Quest is just weird as a series in North America because it's had many chances to, and I think it actually has finally blown up in the past 15 years, but it's kind of weird how the series kind of went in and out in North America. Although technically 5 and 6 did actually come out in North America, but only on the DS as remakes. So they
came later.
Yeah, but they still technically came out.
That's more of the resurgence of Dragon Quest. I think this actually predate Dragon Quest 4, 5, 6, and 9 on the DS. I think Rocket Slime might, or it's right around the time for Dragon Quest 4. But yeah, if you were a Dragon Quest fan, the DS was your friend.
Oh yeah,
a lot of games to play on that system.
Yeah,
and it's just a very traditional turn-based RPG system. There's not a lot of nuances in the battle. There's not a lot of elements, counters, anything that you would be there's not active Paper Mario or Mario RPG. There's not different play styles the way Etrian Odyssey or Trails of Cold Steel do. It's not very nuanced at all. And basically the idea Yuji Horii had was if you play it long enough, you'll get enough XP and you will beat the game and everybody will be happy. And it's not a wrong gaming philosophy. But
ironically, all of the games that took more complicated ideas became popular here, but yet the game that was basically just the most basic, easy to understand thing, that's the one that didn't take off here. I find that kind of funny. How odd.
I mean, I just so I knew this game existed. I like to always do our memories of what brought us to a game. Like I said, I knew this game existed, but I never played it because I missed the DS library almost entirely. I got a DS shortly after launch because I bought it off a guy who had a launch one because he wanted a guitar. So I got it for cheap. I paid $60 for it near launch. So I got a hell of a deal. I know.
Holy
I knew the guy too.
Whoa.
So, and he just wanted it gone, and no one else is offering the money, and I'm like, okay. So I had a launch DS, but I never really played a whole lot. I played WarioWare, I played a little bit of Zookeeper, and I didn't play much, and I moved on. And I just knew this game existed, but I had no history of it and no opinion of it. Vince, what made you? What's your history with this game?
I think it was I didn't play it when it came out. I got it in 2011. The 1UP people were high on it for whatever reason. This was at the time, I think I was listening to Bob Mackey, Jeremy Parrish, and other people with the Retronauts crew, but also just there. They seemed really high on it. I'm looking at my order from Amazon, and DS games, I guess, were just on sale after the 3DS came out because I bought Might and Magic Class of Heroes for $15, World Ends With You for $16, and Rocket Slime for $19. And I bought all three of those at one time. And Rocket Slime was my favorite of these three games. But yeah, that was just a bunch of cheap DS games to buy at the time. I played it almost instantly. I want to say my roommate was like, "Oh hell yeah, that game rules." It was just that was how I played. I don't know what I was honestly expecting because Dragon Quest also has a Pokemon spinoff Monsters. I don't know what I honestly was expecting other than Dragon Quest Monsters. Thank you. I don't know what I said. But thank you. I remember my roommate saying, "Yeah, it's pretty cool," and then people on 1UP said, "Yeah, it's cool," and I thought I'd give it a shot, and here we are. And I actually play this game probably every 5 years or so. It's very rare that I replay a game, but this is one that I definitely come back to constantly.
Okay. Kyle, what is your history with this game?
Well, I had I don't know what to call this. I guess this would be deja vu, except I actually had this experience with it in the past. I forgot that I actually had played this before quite a while ago. So I was in a lucky period of time with with a lot of my console gaming experiences because I had where I grew up, I live in like a city, but it's not a big city, and it's never really become a big city in Canada. I was lucky enough to have a video game store, and it was a local place too. It did kind of blow up into a bit of a chain around town, but like, anyways, I was close by one of their stores, and so here's the cool thing about them. For a long period of time, they would actually not only rent out video games, you could rent out video games, you could rent out portable video games. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah, this place, lucky enough at the time frame where I had a DS, and this was like the mid-2000s, so like right as the DS came out and it was like really blowing up and just kind of being the big console that it was, I actually rented this game. And I kind of got it as a teenager, but it was still like, ironically, I think this is really viewed as like a kiddie game or like a kid's game.
It is.
I thought the gameplay for me was just a little, not complicated, but I just didn't get it. Like I got through a decent chunk of it, but I still didn't like get it. But I loved it, but I also didn't like it. I don't know how to like, this game is so cute and cuddly, and I love it. Yes. And it's like folks, if you can, look up the English box art for this game. Like, if you don't own it already, if you do, like, look at it. Look at that slime's like big smile on its face. That is the cutest thing ever, and it's just, this game is so hilarious and cute, and yet, like, I don't know, the gameplay really just didn't do it for me, and I feel bad because, like, I loved a lot of this game. Like,
I don't feel bad. Like,
is relentlessly charming. The dialogue is hilarious. Like, there are a lot of, like, especially if you love, like, dumb, punny humor. Like, if you love that, oh my god, this game has it in spades.
Hey, and never feel bad for not liking a game. I mean, hell, one of my good friends, Bill Tucker, he does not like BioShock Infinite. Well deserved. But I'm like, hey, I know a guy doesn't like Soul Blazer and Terran Nimbus that much, so don't ever feel bad.
Hey, or Earthbound, I heard. That guy doesn't like that one either.
I don't like Earthbound that much, no. No, I don't. Well, don't worry, you'll get your chance, Kyle, when I replay it in the end of this year. So you get your chance.
I'm just joshing. Oh my god, I'm sorry.
I didn't like it when the last time I played it. It could change when I go back to it this year versus 6 years ago, Mike. So we'll see.
No, of course, I get that. I totally do. Yeah, like, this game is just, like, relentlessly fucking charming and so adorable. Yeah, I don't know, like, this game is just kind of weird to me. Like, and I played it again for the show, and I'm just like, okay, I kind of get this, but, like, I don't know, it's not clicking for me.
The reason why I was, like, sold, because when Vince came to me, and he's like, hey, I want to do this game, and I'm like, okay. And then I was looking at videos, and all of a sudden I saw a tank called Chrono Trigger, and I was sold instantly. I don't care what the gameplay was. I didn't care. I'm like, there's a tank called Chrono Trigger. I'm sold.
Yeah.
Its bark is it's a tree. Its bark is worse than its bite.
Hey, but that's what sold me. Like, I didn't know much about this game. I did not expect it to be what it is. Vince, do you kind of want to talk about the gameplay?
Yeah, the gameplay. So it looks like a Zelda type. So it's like an overhead game like a Zelda in beautiful sprite art, 32-bit DS sprite art. You play as a slime, the lowest level of mob enemy in Dragon Quest. It's like if you're playing a Goomba in a video game. Like that's the level we're talking here.
I mean, and you're a blue slime, which is the weakest one too of the slime.
Yeah, so like that's already like, you know, like you're playing it like at a disadvantage. I guess like also like Gargoyle's Quest, like you're playing like a villain kind of thing, but he lives like in his little town, and then his whole town gets destroyed, and then like 100 villagers of his town get slime-napped, I'm sorry. And so then they all the slimes get taken and put across the world, and you have to go find them and get them out of treasure chests. So the gameplay loop is you go into the little Zelda world, the top-down thing. His only move really is Rocket Slime's only real move is to like pull back. You don't do this with the touchscreen. You just hold A with like the D-pad, and you kind of like slingshot yourself into enemies. You catch enemies, you catch items, you throw them on little train tracks, and they go home. They whisk away, and that's how you defeat your enemies. And then when you find the treasure chest, one of your slime friends will be in there. Like, for instance, the purveyor of the church, Mother Gluperior. Everybody has a dumb pun name, usually around like slimes or goop or something like that. There's one that's named Roboglop, and it doesn't like the slime directive. So he's kind of a mix.
I did not catch that.
Oh my god, he looks like a Borg, but his name is Roboglop, like Robocop.
Oh my god!
I did not catch that.
fucking exact. That's the thing. That this is the level of game we're dealing with. This is fucking charming as shit and stupid. But and then you rescue Roboglop. You put him on the train tracks. You send him home. And now, like, the gameplay loop is he's now at home. He's going to rebuild your village. Roboglop's going to do something. Mother Gluperior allows you to save. There's a shopkeeper you can save that then will rebuild the town. So there's like a town building element. They also, which is very fucking cute, they send you a thank you note. Every single one of the 100 slimes you save sends you a thank you note for saving them. So adorable.
And they give you items. And like the other loop of this game is you have a giant mech.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a sucker for mechs. There aren't a lot on the show yet. That's changing. But I am a sucker for them. I actually got a couple planned later this year. And that's another thing. And like part of the gameplay, which makes use of the touch screen or the dual screen, is that you on the bottom screen you run around with your little slime and you load ammo into your mech cannons. That you have two different cannons, a lower one and a higher one, and the higher one is slower. But you have the two lanes of combat. And you'll fight another mech where they're doing the same thing and they're loading their cannon, shooting at you, and you can you can block their shots and try to hit them and stuff like that. And more to it, but that's the basic of it. And that's really the loop. You go to Zelda worlds, you find items, you then get items, and then you shoot them off in your cannon.
Yeah, and the tank battles are pretty fun because like you're actually like building up your arsenal throughout the thing. Like the items that you collect in the town to like train back. I forgot. Those are things like you'll find like like a rock or something, and you're like, okay, cool. I'll send this rock back home, and then that'll be available for my arsenal. So like, rocks cause more damage than say shooting an apple at an opposing tank. And as the gameplay progresses, you get like arrows that fly faster. You can get shields that like block the other enemy's attack. And then they're just like talking shit to each other like the whole time, like the enemy are like saying things. And I know there's a recent TikTok sound on this little data, but they're all labeled baddies whenever they're on the map. And the baddie often has a baddie friend. And so I can't help but singing like two bad bitches. And they go, a baddie and a baddie friend. And a baddie friend. Come on. And so I always keep singing that because it's fucking cute as shit. And they'll like shoot themselves in the cannon to like infiltrate your base and like get this motherfucker out of here. And then you'll like hit them. You'll burn them with fire. You'll go run in their base and go fuck shit up over there. You can like destroy their consoles, which then affects their ability to send more ammo towards you. And then at the end, like you go and once you've knocked down their tank to like 0 hearts, they can also knock down yours to 0 hearts, but you don't die. Much like Earthbound, which I hear people on this podcast may not like.
One person on this podcast.
The 2 people on this podcast. I don't like Earthbound either. But you don't immediately die like an Earthbound, which is a good thing. But like that does raise the tension. Like shit, I have no HP. Like I cannot afford to fail. And so you go in, you fuck up their base, you hit the heart of the inside of their base or their tank, and they die. There's a pyramid base. It doesn't fight Pharaoh. It's very funny, and it's just oozing with stupid charm throughout this whole game, and I love it.
I fell in love with the ammo system because, like, as the game progressed, like when I first I was shooting chests, which do like no damage. But as the game progressed, I ended up like really like understanding because there's a guy in town that lets you load ammo, and then eventually you get to hire people, or not really hire, but some of the slimes you rescue will then join you and help you, so you can have a crew of yourself and 3 other slimes. You can kind of give them orders. And when I got my crew, the game became amazing in the tank battles. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and even though I screwed up, like I didn't understand how to use some of the crew members until like end game. Like literally, I was in the final dungeon when I finally figured out how to use one of my early slimes. Because one of the ones you get, he's a heal slime, is what he's the jellyfish guy. Mm-hmm. You can set him to go to the enemy base. He'll just start breaking shit, and when he breaks shit, it made the fights. They can't shoot ammo at you. Just pummel them.
Yep. Yeah. He was pretty much there. There's also like one that's just like a maniac that just like loves to jump in the tank and like hit the other tank. Mm-hmm. Like he just loves jumping in the cannon. He's a maniac.
There was one I used to throw. There's one that could catch ammo. I would just throw his little ass in the cannons.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was so great.
I definitely waited. The second they infiltrated my base, like I would like catch whatever villain was in my base, throw them in the cannon because it took forever for them to fly back home to their base. And so you'd be like, ha ha ha, I've got some time now, motherfucker. It's a good time.
Oh, it's so fucking wonderful. Like, I couldn't believe how much I got into this game. And thankfully, I was able to play this on legit hardware. I got to play it on a DS.
Did you play it on the multi-cart of madness that the
SpongeBob cart? Yes, I did.
I also played this DS. That felt really refreshing.
It does. I mean, hell, Vince told me to buy that flash cart once, and it is the best thing ever because I don't even want to know what the hell this game costs on eBay to try to track down a copy. And
oh yeah,
it was so much fun to play it on original hardware. I'm like, I just had this game out all the time, and I just had a blast carrying it with me. And I remember thinking to myself, like, I wish I owned this when I was younger because I would have loved this game.
Of course, there are games on DS that are like easy to play through emulation, but there are some where it's just like you kind of need that hardware. Like it's not so much that it doesn't feel the same, but it just I don't know, like it doesn't feel right playing it. Like it's kind of weird.
It's $40 on.
That's not too bad.
Oh, I mean, to me, that's ridiculous for a game from 2006.
Yeah, but right now the DS like ownership is like kids buying back their childhood.
Oh,
25 to 35-year-olds.
Yeah, that's pretty good now. Like $40, like especially for Dragon Quest stuff. That's pretty damn good. Like
yeah, because I got it. Price charting right now says 62 for me, but like Dragon Quest 4 is like $99. Joker 2 is 80.
Yeah.
Dragon Quest 5 is 190. Shit.
Oh God.
Sell that.
That's my problem with retro gaming. This is why I do things I do, because to me that's ridiculous. Like if I could buy this on Steam, I would have bought this on Steam in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
For $5 or $10.
So one, Yuji Horii is not Yuji Horii, and Akira Toriyama and the Japanese war crime denier composer of the game, they're not going to get your money if you pay $111 for this. They're not going to get your money.
No, that's the other reason why, like...
Especially Koichi Sugiyama, because he's fucking dead. Fuck him. Wah.
Oh,
yeah, he denied Japan's war crimes during the World War II. Yeah, it's a great time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. You can't deny the crimes. It happened. I mean, everybody did terrible things in World War II. America did terrible things too, like we all did.
Don't look. I mean, this is a family podcast. Don't look into what Japan did in terms of their experiments. It was fucked up.
No, I know a lot.
But either way, Kyle, are you familiar with the multi-cart of madness that me and Mike both have?
No, actually, I don't think.
Just look up DS multi-cart on Jeff Bezos' website. Amazon, they'll sell it to you for like $20-$30. The cart comes with like 500 games on it, 200 games, and then you can put more You can just put more games on it because it's just an R4 cart.
I appreciate the thought and idea, but I actually have already hacked my 3DS, so I'm good.
Okay, well,
it's real
this
simple,
is legal because Jeff Bezos will sell it to you.
I mean, if Amazon is selling it to you, that should tell you how much you don't really have to worry about it.
Exactly.
And
I'm not worried about that type of stuff either. Like, I actually already hacked my 3DS. It was like shockingly easy to do. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
I need to do that because there's a third. Well, because technically this is the second game in the Rock Slime series. There's a GBA game that I could not find an English translation patch.
There isn't one, from my understanding.
Actually, I'm pretty sure it's one. It's on a certain website. It's Romantic, I think.
Oh, really?
Oh, the translated GBA one?
I think so. I believe so.
You should send me some.
Because the third game for 3DS is definitely got a translation patch on archive.org. Again, a legal site.
No one cares.
But if I hacked my 3DS and I put Rocket Slime 3 on there, that would be a good. That one's like pirate themed, also.
Yeah, that looks amazing, and I want to play it.
Not only is it an adorable slime, but it's friggin' pirate slime. Yes.
One of the things that blew me away with this game is I knew this, but I forgot that I am a sucker when it comes to a couple. One, I love rescuing people and building a town bigger. We got that. I love taking away things and making my arsenal bigger. We got that.
Yeah.
I love Zelda. We got that. Yeah, all these things. Like, I got obsessed with just. Well, one, you have to track down all the slimes anyway, but I was like just loving tracking down all the slime.
Well, yeah, I loved it. I mean, like I 100%. I'm like, I'm gonna find all these 100 fucking slimes.
You have to beat the game.
Do you really? Okay.
Yeah,
well, I definitely did.
I only had 99, and I went and I beat the final boss, and he's like, "You're missing one slime. We can't celebrate till you find the last slime."
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm like compelled. I
went to find the last slime. I knew it wasn't hard. I knew what zone it was in, so I just started looking in corners. Nice. And it was real simple. I barely just rushed through an area too fast. But yeah, no, the game won't give you credits until you go and save all the slimes.
And it's a pretty breezy game. It's like 12 to 15 hours. It's not like
10. And yeah, I had a guide a little bit, but it was only for a couple parts. Oh, the game also has crafting too, where you can take things that you get and craft to make new ammo.
It has the Dragon Quest VIII alchemy pot in it.
Yes,
it's hilarious.
Hell, one of the dungeons you go to has the Green King guy and the mural in the background from Dragon Quest VIII.
Yeah, there's stuff like there was like a Glob Flamenco or something, which I was like looking at, and he's apparently like based on a character from Dragon Quest 7 or 8. Like they have slime versions of characters.
Yes.
Like human characters in Dragon Quest. It's like, and I don't even know. I've played every Dragon Quest game. I don't know it to that depth, but I was like, this is quite impressive. Their depth.
Yeah.
It's just like I love the town building. The other thing I'm just like a sucker for is just like the Mario 64 like obfuscation of it. It's like it's almost like Pikmin's like, we need 15 slimes to be able to move this barrier. And I'm like, you just need 15 stars to open this door. But we're gonna like make it like a story-based reason, like we need to be strong so we can move this rock. And I'm like, yeah, little Pikmin slimes, I'm gonna help you guys. Like I'm a sucker for that kind of like obfuscation of gameplay. It's so good.
And I didn't think I would enjoy it so much. You can carry 3 items on top of you at a time that then you load on the minecart we were talking about. And it never got boring. One thing I didn't find out until today, and I beat this game about a week ago, was if you capture 30 of every monster, which I knew you could do to get a gold statue in the museum, the one thing the guide left out was by doing that, then you can recruit the monsters to be part of your crew. Because I was always wondering, like, why are there all these empty slots of crew members that I don't have access to? And I rescued all 100 slimes. Like, what's going on here? And it's all monsters.
Well, now I know that. Thank you.
Yeah. No, I mean, you can repeat levels as much as you want, run through, collect ammo, get gold, which is not that useful. But you can also upgrade the health on your mech, which you use gold and other items and things. Like, there's just so much to it. And this is one of my favorite DS games I've ever played. Like, did not see that coming when Vince was like, hey, let's play this. And I'm like, okay, why not?
It's a real charmer. Like that's the reason I like go, and because it's short, I go back and play this like every 5 years because it is delightful and charming. We were talking a little bit about like the DS stuff. Like I don't think it uses the DS like honestly that much.
Just
like
the screens.
Because it doesn't use the touchscreen at all. Like you're not pulling back Rocket to like snap him back, which is like very much like an easy thing they could have done, and thankfully they didn't. Like with the stylus, you could have like pulled him back to like whip him, and I feel like Zelda games did that, like Phantom Hourglass or Spirit Tracks did that kind of shit. So I'm very glad we didn't have to do like tapping for that, although that would make it a very easy mobile port. But like, and the only really things it does is it like has like a map on one screen, and then the tank battles you can see like a wide out shot of like all the ammo flying everywhere, which is really helpful. And then I think there's like one boss battle at the very end where you're fighting like a flower dude that actually like uses both screens. But other than that, like it is not really using the DS that much. So really it should be
because this is from what I was reading, this is a remake of the Game Boy Advance game.
Yeah, I don't think the Game Boy Advance game had the tank battles, is my understanding. Or they were much more limited.
Well, yeah, makes sense, Game Boy Advance. I mean, like, that's why I lost interest in trying to find the Game Boy Advance game. I'm just interested now in the 3DS one.
Yeah.
Which I happen to have on my access to. I just haven't.
Oh, yeah.
I just have to play it on a laptop.
I need to figure out how to how to do that.
But no, I mean, the bosses in this game are really... There's not a lot of bosses you fight on ground. There's a giant tree that tries to kill you. There's
the cactus motherfucker.
I forgot about cactus. There's a big guy, a big fat monster with a jar that tries to suck you. That hurts himself. That fight is freaking hilarious. He throws bananas, and then he eats bananas, throws the peels, and he'll slip on the own peels too. You just have to run around and wait. But it's really amusing.
Yeah, the boss battles are that way, and then there's that cool like space battle that actually like, innovates like the tank battles. I think at the very end, like really. Oh, cool.
The final. So when I got to the final dungeon, I had never really lost any. I never lost any mech battle, but there was one where I could not hurt this armor. Like, no matter what I did, I just couldn't get shots in. So eventually they brought my health down to 0. And then what I did is I just had my guys just keep loading ammo in while I fought the baddies and threw them back. And then we won.
Right. That was the, I think like they were like decimating me. But once they decided to like invade my base, then they weren't shooting ammo at me. And then I was able to beat them. Yeah. But
and the guy told me that once their health drops to 0 and you go to their mech, they will leave you alone. So they just keep trying to kill you and not mess with your mech.
Interesting.
So the trick is if you can like, and one of the guy even said like a couple of times, like, yeah, just let him take out your mech and then he won't be shooting you anymore. And then you just have your guys load the ammo and you fight in your town and just keep throwing them out of your mech.
Mm-hmm.
And that's some of the strategy. I only had to do it once because I just could not make it work.
Yeah. I feel like my now we're getting into the issues part of the game. I feel like there were a lot of tank battles and they didn't innovate. Like I feel like they were the same tank battle as they were at the beginning. I just had like better ammo. But like there were a few that like fucked with the formula, especially the last one. And I'm like, more of this, please. Because like by the end, I'm like, these tank battles all take like 5 to 10 minutes. They're all the same. They're not. I have the same strategy each time. I'm not like having to like change my loadout or anything like interesting to like play with the formula. It's just like play it, beat it. I'm never at risk for dying, and then I win. And I fought like Chrono Trigger like 3 times, 2 or 3 times, right?
You fight a lot of the mechs more than once. Sometimes the teams will change as you get farther. They'll have different monsters on their team, and the ammo will change. Some of the mechs have special abilities, like they'll shoot drills at you that only they can do, or they'll have like one had a giant axe that would lower and block all your shots, and then raise back up, and then knock out your shots here and there. But you are right. There's not Vince. They didn't. It doesn't innovate a lot. It just you do have better ammo and more health.
Mm-hmm. Gentlemen, I'm sorry to interrupt both of you, but I actually just checked my sources. I am actually wrong. The first game still hasn't been translated. My sincerest apologies.
No,
that's fine.
I've been looking. I'm like, man, I've got a little like Pow Kitty emulation device. I'm like, I'd love to play some Rocket Slimes translated on.
I think it isn't just because this game is
because this game exists.
Yeah, I think they just and 3 is so different. That's why people did 3.
Yeah,
but like there's so like with the tank battles, there's certain things like I had one slime that would go in their base, steal their weapons, and come bring it back and shoot it.
Yeah. Nice.
I mean, there were just fun parts, and like the town really does grow, and you can really see it change as you rescue new slimes.
Yeah.
And the more monsters you catch, there will also be monsters just running around the town, like working or interacting with the slimes that are just part of the town now.
And then they start just like saying like weird shit to you, like, I know I'm supposed to not talk in church. And I'm like, what the fuck is up with this little slime? He's weird. I'm like, they're like, there's just like it gets very weird. Like you say baby slimes and old slimes and mama slimes and daddy slimes. It's very
favorite
weird.
Parents too.
Yeah, you do. Like, yeah, it's a weird game. But I do love town rebuilding. Like I just played Mario and Luigi 1 again, and like you rebuild the town throughout that one, and it's just like, okay. Like I like to see how far you've come. Yeah, or maybe that town is destroyed.
Got a game added to the schedule eventually.
Mario and Luigi 1. Yeah, I'll play that. I'm not gonna replay it. I just played it.
Well, it won't be this year, so this year's full. But I mean, that is one of my that's one of my things. Like in a game, if I can like Dark Cloud 1, for example, that's an old game, but you get to rebuild towns, and I remember I really enjoyed that game.
I know. I played like Ever Oasis for 3DS, and that's also like a rebuilding a town game, and that one was all right, but I didn't like the character switching in that. But yeah, my other issue with the game is that like you can't adjust your loadout before the tank battle. You have to do it in town before you ever even go to the zone, and that's kind of frustrating.
I mean, yes, but after a bit, I kind of just went with the same. I used the same setup for large chunks of this game before I really changed my ammo.
Yeah, and I agree. I think that's like kind of the issue, though. Like you got kind of like locked into a strategy, and then the game is pretty easy. So there was, I mean, because like I beat it. Like historically, I'm very bad at video games, and so like I beat it, and to the point where it was like there is no nuance to this combat, which I guess is par for the course for Dragon Quest. As I said, like that's just what the Dragon Quest Dragon Warrior is, just how it is. But it is like I get like I love this game because it's just like a beautiful little taste of Dragon Quest that you get. You get the stupid puns, you get the charm, you get the rebuilding the towns. It's a fun game to play.
And I love that the story that you're fighting this platypus who broke into town because he wanted to steal a flute, and he kidnaps the princess. God, what is her name? Slime Glutton a lot or something?
I don't remember.
It's something like that because she just keeps eating, and he gets mad at her because she's eating all his food.
Yeah, she was eating all his food, and he said, "For crying out loud, lady, I ain't no John, I'm Don. Get it? Don Clauleone." So stupid.
He talks like that too in the text. And I love how one platypus has like a really heavy German accent when he talks. Like,
is that the one that joins your crew?
Yes.
Like Albert Einstein, I guess, that like he becomes like your little like
it's so fucking
like defector. It's so weird. I love that when you beat people like and you have like a shit ton of health left, it calls you it says you only get like you get a sublime rating, but like the UB is real tiny, so it looks like slime, but then sublime. It's so funny.
That was a group, right? In the 90s?
Yeah, they don't got no Santeria. Oh, man.
Okay,
don't mess with my friends. If they get high or drunk, they will be playing a lot of Santeria. I love you guys, but it's a bit much. They only had one album. It's okay.
Oh, and like the whole story, you find out at the end of the game. I mean, we'll still keep talking, but I want to just say the story. It's like when you finally get to the base of the platypus and you go to rescue, because the last time you need to rescue, the last time you do rescue with the princess, she ends up blowing on this horn that summons a dark god, which is what the platypus then turns into a dark god that you got to fight. But the whole reason why he did all this, because he wanted to get the horn or the whistle, because some woman on a TV show, that's what she wanted, was this whistle. So he raided this town, capture everybody just so he could give this woman the whistle. And then it turned out she wanted something different at the end. It's so like stupid and just silly and great all at the same time.
Yeah, it's a really great game, man. I love it. I love everything about it. I love all the stupid things. I love like when you finally beat the game, it goes, "That's all, slimes." And then there's like this other slime that's kind of like Proto Man almost. He's got like a Meta Knight like helmet on, but he's like Proto Man, where he's like kind of like a cool rival, like, but he's also like he kind of works for the bad guys, but doesn't. You keep fighting him. I don't remember.
He just wants to fight you because he just wants competition, is what I think.
That sounds like that's like a Yakuza character right there. But it's just such a stupid game, but it's so flipping pleasant. Like I have all these pictures that I just like took of it. Like there's one like your sister's kidnapped, which is very much out of like Wind Waker. And then you get a letter like, "I'm in the backwoods, come save me." But it turns out it was like a bunch of villains like trying to trick you to like lure you into a trap. It's very stupid. Yeah. Like it is a Dragon Quest game, but it's not a Dragon Quest game. I think I also like the idea that like this long running serious series can like just like take the piss out of itself. Like I miss that about like Japanese games did like Konami used to do like Parodius, which was like, we're just going to make fun of all of our games inside a game.
Why do you think I love the Goemon games and Earthbound so much, you guys?
Yeah. Like, that's just like, yeah, we're not going to take this shit too seriously. Like, it's beautiful. They just like, yeah, we'll just take the piss out of our series. That's great.
I don't mind if something does like take itself seriously, but like have the good writing and characters to back it up.
Right.
Like, if you're gonna like say you're big shit, you gotta prove it. You can't just fucking like serious edgelord. Like, okay, now where's all this to back it up?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it's just beautiful. Like, yeah, Konami is that way. Goemon's that way. This is that way. It's like, yeah, like it's.
This will probably make me sound more weird than I probably already come off as on the podcast, but like, is it wrong that I like wanted to like? I want all of the characters in this game as like a plushie. Like I just everything in this game is so goddamn.
I mean that.
It's so cute. Like,
it is. I mean, boy, you like slimes, and like, here you get pink slime. You get a Borg slime. Like you get.
I want Mother Gooperior, and I'm an atheist. I want a Mother Gooperior.
She's a polytheist, isn't she? Though she's a polytheist, or is Mother Gooperior? Does she only worship one slime god, or
I don't know.
Definitely a female slime god.
I didn't pay that much attention to what they were saying. I didn't really like pay a whole lot of attention to what the text. I read very fast, but I just love getting slimes. But no, there's nothing wrong. I mean, these are just so adorable. I mean, hell. There's like I'm just watching a speedrun right now. There's slimes wearing a crown. There's slimes with a hermit shell.
That's so
good. Like the little chicken McNugget toys.
It's wonderful.
I now that you said that exact like word, Vincent. Now I'm just like, I wonder if like McDonald's Japan ever did like Dragon Quest things. Like I would get a Happy Meal that has like a little Dragon Quest slime toy thing. I don't know. I would get one for that. Like, oh my god.
They've had to. I mean, I'm assuming they must have over the years.
I mean, I have that stupid chicken McNugget that plays Tetris that I bought from China.
I saw that online. Oh my goodness.
I can't say much. I'm surrounded by Funko Pop, so. Yeah. And speaking of like wanting plushes of things, I have a plush of the little blue creature from Yu Yu Hakusho in the Dark Tournament Saga when you say, I can't remember his name, Popperin, or it's something with a P, I think. It's been a while.
Or something like that.
But yeah, there's nothing wrong with wanting plush. I mean, that's just, I mean, this game is so cute. Like, I I have friends that I have a lot of friends that are big RPG fans, and one of my friends that doesn't play enough games, I texted him. I'm like, this is. I sent the picture of Chrono Trigger, who we're both huge fans of Chrono Trigger. I'm like, this is worth playing someday. It is just. I mean, I don't know if he'd like it or not. He loves RPGs. He's not really a Dragon Quest guy. I mean, neither am I. Unfortunately, I've only played Dragon Quest 8 and 1.
Which is weird. It's like Dragon Quest is like the easiest to get into. Like, I know some of the older games might seem a little archaic, but like the best thing about Dragon Quest, especially if you want to get into Dragon Quest, like literally almost all of the old games have remakes, and those remakes cut all of the fat of the original games.
Yeah.
Like, there's a perfectly cooked steak. You don't need any sauce. There's no fat. It's just perfect. Like 10 out of 10.
Like Dragon Warrior 1 Game Boy Color. Like, like it ups like the XP gain. So it's like a 7-hour game. And there's no party, and you just like play it, and it's fucking great. That's also like, you can play a nicer graphic version for the Super Famicom version that has been translated. But
one of my issues with Dragon Quest as a kid, which is, again, stupid, but I'm going to say it anyway, was I didn't like it that you couldn't see your characters in battle because I was used to Final Fantasy.
Well, and I'm the opposite. I'm like, I don't want to see these fuckers. I just want to see like my whip slap us across the screen. I'm the exact opposite. I played like Final Fantasy IV. That's the only mainline Final Fantasy I've ever played. Because I'm a Dragon Quest boy.
Okay. I totally understand that mentality. Like, no, I get it. You want to see the things. Like, I get that.
Yes, but I feel like by being that way, I did myself a disfavor as a kid. Now, I don't give a shit. Like, I just haven't gotten to the Dragon Quest series as much. I mean, that's going to probably change the show. Like, I just actually really want to do Dragon Quest 1 now.
One is cool. One GBC is good. I love one GBC.
That's what I played it once.
Yeah, I would love to see how you would take to that. Like, and especially if you did an episode, like, I would really love to see what you would like. How you would take it all in.
I liked one when I played it. Facebook reminded me of like 6 years ago. I think it was right before the podcast. It might have been during the early podcast. I beat it on my phone and I had a good time. I played the game.
Yeah, one Kyle is a lot like Builders, where because you have like the same base for the only place you can save is like this is the first starting castle, and you have to walk across the whole map as far as you can before you're about to die. And then walk all the way back home. And it's a fun gameplay loop. It's almost like a roguelike because you're just like, I'm going to go as far as I can and hopefully I don't die. And then go back. It's a beautiful little tiny game. And then 4 is great because 4 is like a bunch of like 3-hour like chapter RPGs. It comes out before Live Alive or Live a Live. Mike, I think you like that game, right?
I do love Live a Live. It's that old?
Yeah.
Dragon Quest 4?
Dragon Quest 4 is before that. It's NES.
I think it was 89 or 90. So yeah,
it's fucking early. But you play like a 3-hour like chapter is like a shopkeeper, and then a 3-hour chapter is like some girl in a harem, and then 3-hour chapter. So you basically play as each of your individual party members, and then they all come together at the end. It's really cool.
I played it a little bit on a tablet when I was doing DS emulation a while ago, and then I just stopped playing it because I just went through a phase or something. But no, this is a series that had it been on Super Nintendo when I was a kid, I most likely would have experienced, but unfortunately with it not being there, I never really experienced it.
And as Kyle said, like 1 through 4 are all on NES, and they're a little janky, and they require you to like have a button prompt and a menu prompt to go through doors and shit. It's kind of janky. But the later remakes, like the Game Boy Color ones, like cut that fat. And then the DS ones are even better.
The Super Famicom, the DS, like PlayStation, like all of these like remakes, like a lot of them, like pretty much almost all of them, like cut the fat significantly.
Right, exactly.
Someday, I plan to. I mean, hey, I got this game off my backlog and never meant to, so you never know with this show. Okay, I try to work.
Like you've really kept your word too with a lot of like the different games you've played for this podcast. Like I've been looking at old episodes, I've been listening, and it's just like, yeah, you've really made some stride and progress and for this show.
It helps them publish 3 episodes a week.
Of course, as like a person, like a gamer, like if you want to call yourself that, or like
I am a gamer.
Whatever title you go with, like as a gamer, like yeah, like you're really taking different strokes with this. You're really going for like everything, and like I respect the hell out of that.
I'm trying. I mean, as the show has changed a lot, I have become more try to get more games, and I try very much this theory of having getting such a wide variety of people so nobody gets burned out, nobody gets exhausted, because I did that before. So
yeah, burnout sucks.
And now I want to play more stuff. Like I'm trying to experience games that, like, example, like this game, I would never have experienced it had Vincent not said, "Hey, let's play it." And I'm just like, okay, whatever.
I went for the lowest barrier Akira Toriyama tribute, but also it's really
there's more coming. I already have nothing else recorded, unfortunately, but stuff planned to honor him coming up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just
I mean, like, considering how, like, big of news it was when he did unfortunately pass, like, the whole world really did grieve. Like, frigging, like, if you were anywhere in, like, South America, like, holy shit.
Yeah. The Mexican cartels had a ceasefire.
Oh my god.
That's a big deal, because the Mexican cartels never stopped killing each other. So
they had to, because to honor Toriyama, they yeah.
No, like in Mexico and stuff, just like, no, like, people really, really loved Dragon Ball. Like, I knew friends, I knew people who never gave a shit about anime are like, oh, did you hear that, like, Dragon Ball guy died? I'm like, how the hell did you know that? Like, what?
He's so good at monster design. Like, I read this thing, like, I know people, like, made fun of him for, like, a little, like, he only draws, like, 3 faces and, like, 3 human body types, which is kind of accurate, but his monster design is, like, fucking on point.
As much as you could say that, but, like, look at, like, the dragon. I say this again, like, as I said at the beginning of the show, but, like, look at the Dragon Quest line. Like, look at how revolutionary that design is, and it's so fucking simple. Like, it's so brilliant. It's so beautiful. It's adorable. Like, take the bog standard, like, role-playing game slime and just, what do you do to it? Just, hold on, just
make it cute.
Make some eyes, fucking give it a really adorable little smile, and just, bam, you got a revolution right there.
I'm so mad I never bought, like, the PS2 controller, the slime.
That didn't come here, did it?
I could have acquired it online. There were definitely controllers of him. I wanted them, but they got too expensive.
I still haven't bought a slime plushie, but it's just like, I really want to. Like, I'm just looking, and I'm looking, but it's also just that, like, I don't know, like, if I want to get a plushie, I don't want some tiny little, like, dinky little plushie. Like, I want a fucking huge
fucking slime squishmallow.
Yeah, I want something I can, like, cuddle and hug. Like,
I don't want something like Squishmallow.
Oh my god, that's.
I
have a lot of Pokemon Squishmallows. Me and my kids have.
I want to body slam my slime, like, my frigging slime, like, plush. Like, I want a big.
You can buy a Sentinel plush that is a remake of those old wrestling buddies.
So that's perfect.
They have the king. Is it the king slime? Is that his name?
I think so. That is like a giant plush. I want that. Like,
I'm thinking of the knight slime, the slime knight, and that's the game. That guy rules. You put the little knight on him, and he rides him like a little like a medicine, like a bouncy ball, and he has a little sword.
A Dragon Quest slime plush. Like, I just want, like, a fucking huge one, because it's like, I want to cuddle that. That's like the cutest. That might be, like, the cutest video game design piece of art that, like, I've ever seen in my life. Like easily, like, if not for cute little UFO in Earthbound, like, it's a tie. It's either the cute little UFO from Earthbound or the Dragon Quest slime.
And of course, they do have them on eBay, by the way, but I can't tell how big they are to fit what you want, because the pictures are.
I haven't looked at it like in inches, so whatever. I'll do the measurements.
Because I know but Toriyama's art. I mean, yes, his characters do. You can tell when it's Toriyama art, but that's not a bad thing. It's just it is what it is.
But I think I heard but the golem that he has, which I don't think is in this game, is such a cool design.
It is.
That was my favorite boss from Dragon Quest.
As a mech, it is as a mech.
Oh, it's a mech.
You can operate them in the last level.
Yeah, when I fought him in the Dragon Quest Heroes, not Rocket Slime, but Dragon Quest Heroes, the Dynasty Warriors game, I'm like, oh, it's fucking on. These guys are here. That game is a great ass game. That's a long game. That overstays its welcome, but it's a great
game. Golem design. It's such a that's another basic thing that just looks like really fucking good. Like, oh.
Yeah. And then translates to 3D well, surprisingly.
Oh, and I do want to say my first ever Dragon Quest game, the only one I ever played as a kid, was Dragon Quest Monsters for Game Boy Color. I had that first one.
Nice.
Cute.
Okay.
I love
Never finished it because I just didn't. The game got hard, and maybe I wasn't playing right. But that was my first experience with Dragon Quest because it was like Pokemon. So I was sold.
Yeah.
I feel like they overprinted treasures for the Switch recently, so they did not print like any cartridges for the new Monsters game. So I've not been able to acquire it yet.
That's fine. I'll get it in 10 years.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that's how I look at it. I'm like, hey, I'll gladly play all these Switch games people are excited about in 10 years when the Switch is dead and gone.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think Nintendo Power was like, this is a great series because, Nintendo's Power is Nintendo propaganda. But I got in 2000, I got the Dragon Quest 1 and 2 cartridge, and it came with like a full guide in Nintendo Power. And that was my first Dragon Quest experience. And I feel like that came out right before Dragon Quest 7 for PS1.
A long game.
Dragon Quest 7 is a like 100-hour game that like has like bad flag. Like you have to talk to every character in order for you to get like the next scene. But Dragon Quest
they fixed that, right? In the 3DS or in the remake?
I think so. I think so.
It's still a little tedious. But Dragon
it's better,
Quest,
I think.
I think it is a little better, but it's still like, instead of 3 hours before your first battle, it's only like 2 hours. But which isn't a bad thing because but there's just like wasted space. Like you just like walk through like 3 screens of like nothing constantly to get to like places. But Dragon Quest 1 is like such a trim the fat, like cool game. Dragon Quest 2 adds the party. Dragon Quest 3 has like a job system. And spoiler alert, Dragon Quest 3 has like a really cool final act. I guess it's not a spoiler alert. You'll be very happy surprised.
It only came out, 20, 30 years ago?
Okay, yeah, let me spoil it because we're trying to hit time right here. Dragon Quest 1 spends the whole time you collecting like this like legendary hero's armor, the Lodo armor or the Erdrick armor. And like you go to like 3 different towns and like you collect the armor. And then Dragon Quest 3 like acts like it's a sequel, the whole game. And then at the very end you realize you're actually that hero from the first game that they talk about. And it blew my fucking mind. You fall like through a portal and you end up in the Dragon Quest 1 world and you've got to be the legendary hero that everybody in Dragon Quest 1 talks about. And it blew my mind in 2000. It's fucking radish.
I do want to play that someday. Oh, the end of this game though, it did get epic when you went when you do the whole thing when they blow the horn. And we've been kind of going around it, but like we were talking about that rival slime that you fight throughout the game. Both your mechs,
Proto-Man slime, yeah.
Yes, both of your mechs combine. You lose all your crew, and it's just you and him working together to take out one enemy. But it's actually easy because you can just let the enemy come into your mech and then just throw them out, and you're fine. That's what I do.
I wish the game did more of that kind of stuff. Like honestly, I feel like the tank battles got real tedious, and then this very end, like this is what I've been wanting for the last 3 hours. But it is.
I didn't get bored with it. I mean, you can also when it comes to the alchemy thing, you also get recipes as you rescue different slimes that let you make different stuff. And there's also a Coliseum, which I didn't mess with, that's where you fight the hardest slime, the hardest mech fight.
Okay, like a post game. Okay.
And the final mech fight is actually the jellyfish slime that joins you in the very beginning of the game. One of the first people you get, your friend. He's the final mech fight in the game. He had a mech all this time that he hid or something.
That's so cool. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's a very cool but easy game at the same time. Like I like.
That's fine though. Sometimes. Like I just got them.
Yeah.
Playing World Ends With You, and that was a game that used the touchscreen nonstop. And then I played this before. At some point, I played this right around that same time. I don't remember what was in the order. And I was so happy he didn't use the touchscreen. So
yeah, it is hilarious to me because I like texted you, Mike. I'm like, the day Toriyama died, I'm like, we're gonna play Rocket Slime for your show. I looked through your entire list. You've not played this game, and I texted you like immediately. And like Kyle, I think you put like the slime is the coolest design ever on Facebook.
No, I did
on this episode too. I texted Mike.
Yeah, I stand by my comment. Like, it's easily like the cutest and like one of the best like pieces of video game art and just character designs ever. Like, it's so brilliant how it's so like simple and brilliant.
Yeah,
like, just
like,
put a cute face on a thing. There you go.
Yeah, and they even like showed like the image that like Yuji Horii like gave to Toriyama. Be like, I'm thinking about like this for a slime, and it's just like a fucking like gurgly blob.
Come on.
And Toriyama gave it such a glow up, and then like and behind the scenes, I always tell Mike whenever I need to like do an episode for this, I'm like, I need at least a month to like psych myself up to play this game. I beat this game like in 6 days. Like,
you beat this really fast.
Yeah, I did, for me especially. Like the second, like you were like, Mike, we're doing this episode, and I know we're not going to record for a while, but I'm doing this now. I'm going.
Yeah, because I set it up a month later to give you, well, one, I was busy as fuck, and to give you enough time, like, okay, well, we'll plan this a month later, and then within a week, you had it beat, and I'm like, what?
100%
I know you, Vincent,
yeah.
what?
It was a great time. It's like, I was compelled to play this game. Like, if you haven't played this game, go play it. It's funny as shit. It's great.
Man, you could play this, since it doesn't use touchscreen, you just play with the controller, and you'll be fine.
That's
You
true.
want to play it other ways, like Steam Deck, I'm sure. Well, Steam Deck probably wouldn't be the same, because then it would look a little funky, but it would work.
Well, the Steam Deck actually has like a really cool setup where it like will show you, like, you can choose like a main screen, and then it'll show you like a vertical orientation of both screens again on the right side, which is really cool because like you really just need to focus on like the main screen, but you can still see your map on the side there. So it's actually like the DS setup on Emu Deck is really, really good.
I haven't done it yet. Well, now that I have the flash card,
My emulation deck for whatever reason fucked up. Like, I don't know. Like, I need to like either redirect a folder or I lost the BIOS files or something broke in it. Like, it doesn't work anymore. I'm gonna probably just uninstall and reinstall.
Yeah, I had to do that too once. So that's
They upgraded the app like a lot and everything.
It's way different than what it was when I first got a Steam Deck. By the way, Steam Deck's amazing, people. If you don't have one, if
you don't have one and you have $600 or even more, probably Canadian.
It's not cheap, but it is cheap. I fucking love it.
I'm a little afraid of the Steam Deck of its size. Like, I don't know, it just looks so bulky. Like, it kind of makes me a little afraid.
No, that's fair. My wife
heavy.
doesn't like it because it's so big. It's like she has a Switch Lite. And she likes the Switch Lite, but she does not like Steam Deck that. I mean, she will play it, but she's like, "This is just too big and bulky."
I wish there was like some place or whatever where I could just like touch one or something and just see how it feels before plopping that type of money down. Because I know. I don't like the idea of like paying that much money for a thing that like I can't like test drive or like just like I'm not even asking to use it. I just want to like feel it in the hands.
Makes sense. Whoever end up in St. Paul, Minnesota, I can have you try out mine, but I know you don't live in Canada, but if you ever end up in St. Paul, Minnesota...
I mean, I do, besides you, I have, like, other friends in Minnesota, too, so... And in the St. Paul, Minneapolis kind of area,
they're they're so close to each other, it's not, They're literally across a bridge.
No, of course, so, like, if I could, if I can, I totally will,
I get it.
But if you want to play Yakuza in your lap, terrible battery.
I do want to put Yakuza on the show, but I'm not willing to cross that bridge yet. Maybe someday, but not yet.
I feel like you're saying that jokingly, Vincent, but like I would love. But I said like to Vincent, like you say that it sounds like you mean it as like kind of a joke, but like hell yes, I want more portable beat 'em ups. Like I will play like. I already love beat 'em ups, but like a beat 'em up on the go, yes, please. Like I will.
I beat Yakuza 1 Kiwami, 2 Kiwami, man who erased his name. I'm halfway through Infinite Wealth right now, which is I guess turn-based boat. But and does it kill my battery within an hour and 5 minutes? Yes, but I'm playing it in my lap. I can just plug into a wall. My kids don't see the violence that scare you. And you keep on doing your stuff.
Hey, because of the Steam Deck, I have played so many games that I wouldn't have. But I've also been trying to like work on series. Like on the show, I've been doing the Assassin's Creed series. I'm doing the Kingdom Hearts series, which Kingdom Hearts 2 will be wrapped up this year, pretty much, except for Melody, which is next year. But I am trying. And I do have a couple weird ass games that I'm gonna try to happen next year, like the Draken Guard 1 at least, which I'm looking at right now. I want to play that again. To speak of weird ass games. But any last things to say about Rocket Slime?
It's a great game. Sail the friendly seas like Rocket Slime 3 and pirate it. I would definitely recommend it. No one's gonna get any money if you buy it right now. So just go get it.
eBay will.
eBay will get money. Who's that? Just go to Jeff Bezos' website, buy a multi-card of madness for $20, and then put it on there, and it'll be great.
Or hack your 3DS.
Yeah. I need to hack my 3DS. I have an extra 3DS I need to hack and just put like Pretendo stuff on there.
I actually kind of want to get another or I know if I ever need another 3DS, I know a guy who mods mods and repairs 3DSs. I can buy one off of when I need to.
3DSs got expensive. They never dropped.
I bought one 6 years ago off a buddy of mine that I worked with at a store, and that's the one I still have, 3DS XL.
Nice.
But like the new 2DS XLs like never dropped in price and then got expensive.
Yeah, it really sucks too. Yeah, because those are like really like the new line of the 3DSs. Yeah, I know
They're 9 years old at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's fucking stupid, but like those are like really powerful too. So like you can do all sorts of like cool emulation stuff as well as like hacking it and everything.
And plus, the DS is such a thing where you really want to play it on the DS for the DS experience,
exactly.
not on a PC. I mean, you can you could play this. Like this is a game you could play simply on a PC with no problem because it doesn't use touchscreen. So but that's one of the issues with the DS where you want to have that DS feature where you can.
Phone emulation works a little better, but
yeah, I've done it for Pokemon games. I did it for Dragon Quest IV. I did it on a tablet. I used to use a tablet where I did it a lot, and that worked wonderful.
I beat that Spider-Man Metroidvania game that we played on the phone.
I played on PC.
Yeah.
That game was a special game. All right, let's go to yes.
Oh, sorry.
I was going to say Shelf Stacker Box. If you have something to say, please. We can add it before we go to Shelf.
Sorry, I didn't know already to move on to that. But I think the game is just it didn't click with me, but I think the game is so relentlessly charming and adorable. Like, oh my god, this game is so cute and adorable, and I love it. For as much as I oddly enough, I didn't kind of like playing it that much. This game is just so cute and charming, and it's just, I can't think of a better way to send off Akira Toriyama, the memory of Akira Toriyama, than just like a game that celebrates just how perfect the slime design is. Like, I love it. That's perfect.
I love that.
Okay, we'll go to Shelf Stacker Box. And Vincent, this is your this was your pick. What do you say?
This is going on the shelf. I haven't made actually a list, but I've been trying to make a top 5 of every system I would save in a fire and everything else can go. And I feel like Rocket Slime's in the top 5 DS games. Maybe top 10. DS has actually got a pretty fucking good library.
Yes, I'm finding out.
It really does. So, but yeah, this is definitely going on the shelf. This is one that I will tell people about. Yeah, you got to play. I'll text non-gamers this is a stupid design. Look at RoboGlop in the Slime Directive. This is a stupid game, and it's beautiful. It's definitely it's a game that's always coming back in the rotation. I probably won't play a lot of other games before I die, but I will come back to Rocket Slime. It's such a beautiful game. Shelf it at the top.
Okay. And what about you,
top
Kyle?
This might come as a bit of a surprise considering what I've been saying about this podcast about this game. But Shelf. This game is just such a unique little cute oddity, and I love it. And I respect the hell out of it. As much as I, didn't really personally like playing it, this game is just so cute. I want to have it on my shelf. I want to pop it in my DS whenever I just need some cute stuff. I need, super cute, Japanese, Akira Toriyama slimes in my life. I just need to, I can just look at this. This is just, it's bliss.
All right. And I'll go last. I'm going to put this on the shelf, too. As I said multiple times, I came in with zero expectations, and I left happy as could be. And I was telling my wife about this game. She's like, oh, okay. Just looking at me, and I'm like, it's so cool. It's so cute. I had a great time. I'm so happy that I got to experience this game. And now I want to play more Dragon Quest games on the show. I don't know if it'll happen, but the idea is there. So that's something. But going on the shelf, I love this game. I will be recommending this game now to people from now on. Be play this. It's fun. It's cute. Play it. So, yeah. All right. I guess that's everything. So we should go to plugs. And Vince, where can people find you at?
You can find me at the Some of My Friends Read Comics podcast. That's Some of My Friends Read Comics. We read every other week. We read Some of My Friends Read Comics. I'm sure my own plug. Thank you. Some of My Friends Read Comics. It's a podcast. Every other week we read a legendary comic we should have read in the past. Death of Gwen Stacy. Mike was on to read Super Metroid from Nintendo Power back in the day. We've read recently. We actually did for Akira Toriyama. We did the Dragon Ball manga, the first volume of Dragon Ball, which honestly I didn't really like. Mostly because I think I came from a lens of I would not give this to my 10-year-old son and his friends because it's a little creepy how much they want to get up this girl's skirt, and it's a little much. I probably would have switched to Dragon Ball Z, but we've done One Piece, but mostly American comics like Injustice. What else have we done with video games like the Super Mario manga, the Legend of Zelda mangas? That might be more relevant to your audience.
Hey,
but
when are you doing Sandman 1?
Well, we can't because my co-host has been on all your Sandman episodes.
Plus, I know you don't want to.
I don't want to do that. We did the Prez issue of Sandman. I think y'all probably already passed that.
Yeah, I just read that. I almost bought that. I almost bought the first appearance of Prez for $20.
Chris was on your podcast to cover Prez. He fucking.
We got 2 volumes left.
Yeah, Prez is this teenager that became American president for like a 4-issue miniseries before it was like canceled the fucking hell and back. But then Neil Gaiman brought it back for a Sandman issue randomly. And
just
then,
one issue.
Yeah, it's very
just
weird.
one random issue at World's End.
Yeah, so it's like from like 1976 and then doesn't make another appearance like 1993. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, my co-host Chris Dobson is definitely like on a bunch of your Sandman and other comic episodes. So check him out. Check us out.
All right, and Kyle.
You can find me on a couple of different places online, but you can find me especially at Blue Sky. My name there is at ChibiUFO, ChibiUFO.bsky.social. You can find me on Instagram at ChibiUFO. Once again, it's at ChibiUFO. You can find me not really as often or anything, but somewhat rarely, occasionally. Well, not really occasionally, just rarely. At Twitter, at UFO_Canada. Once again, at UFO_Canada. And you can also find me on my podcast, my very own podcast, at the... not at. Well, yes, actually, at. Sorry, what am I doing? Blah. Anyways, the Unidentified Flying Obsession Podcast. That is the UFO podcast, and I have just released a new episode, my third episode, which my friend and I and co-host, Brandon, for the episode, talk and gush about our love of the Ganbare Goemon / Mystical Ninja series from Konami. We gush about it and we talk about how much we love it and why it's important to us and why we think it deserves a more recognition.
Okay, and you will see a link in the show notes of both of their podcasts. Definitely go check them out. If you want to support the show for little as $1, you can vote in our Patreon polls. We have 1 to 2 polls every month. 2, depending on if I get behind on Patreon stuff where I got to slow it down a bit. But you can do that, and you will see a link in the show notes. And you help support the show, and you help change the show. You make things happen that might not happen otherwise. So, well, definitely wouldn't happen otherwise. Some of the votes, like the one that's going to win the poll that you will be hearing in this month that you were hearing this, depending if it wins. So definitely go do that. We have a Discord. Please join our Discord. It's free. We always have had new people join and chat with us. So please do that. I want to give a shout out to my awesome intro and outro courtesy of Helena at Hell Has Free. You can follow her on TikTok, Twitch, Instagram. You'll see a link in the show notes to her stuff. Also, check out A Gamer Looks at 40 with Bill Tucker. He's on the show quite often, so definitely go follow his show too. Check out Nomads Fantasy, Nintendo Main Podcast, Talk Games to Bubblegum. Some of the people I work with. And I listen to those shows quite often, so definitely go check out all those people. And please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, YouTube, audio only, but you can find us on all those things and subscribe to us wherever you can. And rate and review us, helps out the show a lot. So I think that's everything I need to say, so we will see you guys all next time. Bye, everybody.